My name is Claire Morgan. I'm 35 years old. 8 months ago, I spent nearly $25,000 helping my younger brother build the business he'd always dreamed about. 3 months later, I was told I wasn't welcome at the grand opening. The person who said it wasn't a stranger. It wasn't a business partner. It was my own family. And what happened afterward changed my life forever. I grew up in a small town outside of Austin, Texas. My younger brother, Ethan, was 6 years younger than me. From the day he was born, my mother treated him like the center of the universe. If Ethan forgot his homework, it was because the teacher wasn't understanding. If Ethan got into trouble, someone else must have caused it. If Ethan failed, someone needed to rescue him. Usually that someone was me. By the time I turned 35, I had built a successful career in Seattle as a project manager for a technology company. I owned my condo. I had savings. I had stability. Ethan had dreams. Lots of dreams. But somehow, every dream required somebody else's money. Over the years I helped more times than I could count. College tuition. Car repairs. Credit card debt. Medical bills. A failed online business. A failed landscaping business. A failed food truck. Every time he promised things would be different. Every time I believed him. Then came his biggest dream yet. A sports bar called Lone Star Junction. The idea sounded good. The location looked promising. For the first time, Ethan seemed serious. He had a business plan. Investors were interested. And my mother couldn't stop talking about it. Claire, this is finally his chance. Claire, your brother just needs a little help. Claire, family helps family. The same speech. Every single time. I should have known better. But Ethan sounded different. More mature. More focused. I wanted to believe him. So when he asked if I could help secure some contracts and cover a few startup expenses, I agreed. Not because I was rich. Because he was my brother. Over the next several months I signed vendor agreements, furniture, kitchen equipment, advertising packages, technology systems, everything under my name because my credit score was excellent. The total exposure? Almost $180,000. I told myself it wouldn't matter. The business would succeed. The contracts would transfer once operations stabilized. At least that was the plan. Or so I thought. The grand opening was scheduled for a Saturday in May. I flew from Seattle to Austin on Friday. The trip cost nearly $2,000 after flights, hotel, transportation, and gifts. I didn't care. I was proud of Ethan. Proud of what we'd built together. When I arrived at the hotel, I sent Ethan a text. Just landed. Can't wait for tomorrow. No response. I figured he was busy. Opening a business isn't easy. The next morning I bought coffee and rehearsed the speech I'd prepared. Nothing dramatic. Just a few words about hard work and second chances. The kind of thing an older sister says when she's proud. At noon I drove to the bar. The parking lot was packed. Music was playing. People were laughing. Everything looked incredible. For a moment, I felt genuinely happy. Then I walked toward the entrance. And everything changed. A security guard stepped in front of me. Sorry, ma'am. Invitation only. I laughed. I think there's a mistake. I'm Claire Morgan. He checked a tablet, then looked back up. I'm sorry, you're not on the list. I blinked. What? Before he could answer, I saw my mother walking toward us. Linda Morgan, perfect hair, perfect smile, perfect timing. Claire, Mom, what's going on? Her expression hardened instantly. You need to leave. I stared at her, certain I'd misheard. Leave? This isn't the right time. I felt my stomach drop. What are you talking about? She glanced around nervously. People were watching. Please don't make a scene. The words hit harder than a slap. I helped build this place. Not here. Not today. Then she said something I'll never forget. Ethan's investors don't know the whole family situation. The whole family situation? What does that even mean? Her voice dropped. It was simpler to tell people you're an old family friend. An old family friend. Not a daughter. Not a sister. A family friend. 35 years old. Standing outside a business I'd helped fund. Being erased from my own family. Just because my existence didn't fit the image they wanted to sell. I looked through the windows. Inside, Ethan was laughing with investors. Taking pictures. Shaking hands. Living his dream. My dream of being included wasn't even worth a phone call. I stood there for a long moment. Then I set the gift basket on the sidewalk, turned around, and walked away. No yelling. No drama. No revenge. Not yet. Back at my hotel room, I opened my laptop. Every contract was sitting in my inbox. Every signature. Every authorization. Every financial obligation. My name was everywhere. And suddenly a question appeared in my mind. Why was I carrying responsibility for people who couldn't even acknowledge me publicly? That night I barely slept. Not because I was angry, because I finally saw the truth. For years I thought love was something I earned, something I bought, something I proved through sacrifice. But no matter how much I gave, it was never enough. There was always another favor. Another emergency. Another reason I should do more. I was exhausted. And for the first time in my life, I stopped making excuses for them. Monday morning my phone rang. It was Ethan. "Hey, sis." His voice sounded cheerful. Casual. Like nothing had happened. "You left early Saturday." I laughed. Actually laughed. "You had security remove me from your grand opening." "Come on, Claire. It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like?" Silence. Then came the excuse. "The investors were old school." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So you pretended I wasn't family?" "It was complicated." "No. It wasn't. Complicated as taxes. Complicated as business law. This was simple." He chose appearances over people, and he expected me to accept it. The way I always had. Except this time was different. That afternoon I contacted every vendor connected to the business. Calmly, professionally. No threats. No drama. I simply informed them that I was withdrawing future financial authorization and requesting all obligations be transferred directly to the operating owners. The responses arrived quickly, professional, polite, patient. By Wednesday the invoices started arriving in Texas. Not Seattle. Texas. Exactly where they belonged. My mother called first. She was furious. "Do you realize what you've done?" "Yes. The business can't afford these payments." "Neither can I." "You embarrassed your family." I stared at the phone. For 35 years I'd listened to variations of that sentence. Finally I answered, "You embarrassed your family when you pretended I wasn't part of it." Silence. Then she hung up. The next few weeks were chaos. Investors started asking questions. Vendors demanded answers. Relatives began hearing the truth. The story spread faster than anyone expected. People discovered that the woman who'd helped finance the business had been excluded from the celebration. The image they'd worked so hard to protect started falling apart, not because I attacked them. Because facts have a way of surviving. Months passed. The business survived. Barely. The loans were restructured. Payments were made. Life moved forward. But something inside me had changed. For the first time, I stopped measuring my worth by what I could provide. I stopped chasing approval. Stopped trying to earn a place in rooms where I was only valued when I was useful. I started therapy. Made new friends. Focused on my career. Focused on myself. And little by little, I began building a life that didn't depend on anyone else's validation. One evening nearly a year later, I received an email from Ethan. No excuses. No requests. No invoices. Just honesty. For the first time, "Claire, I was wrong. I cared more about appearances than loyalty. You showed up for me more times than I deserved. I should have been proud to call you my sister. Instead, I acted like you were invisible. I'm sorry." I read it twice, then a third time. It didn't erase the past. But it was real. And sometimes real is enough to start healing. People ask whether I regret drawing the line. Whether family should always come first. My answer surprises them. Family should come first. But family isn't defined by who takes from you. Family is defined by who stands beside you when it matters. A boundary isn't revenge. It isn't cruelty. It's self-respect. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is stop paying the price of someone else's approval. The day I walked away from that grand opening, I thought I'd lost my family. What I actually lost was the belief that I had to earn love through sacrifice. And honestly, that was the best investment I